Hey there, YouTube family. Happy Thursday to you guys. Thanks for hitting the likes. Say hi in the comments. Today, I'm going to be looking at one of Wall Street's most beloved companies, Apple stock. We're going to be asking some important questions. Is it worth buying Apple stock at these levels? Am I buying Apple stock? If not, when would be a good time to begin to buy Apple stock? And is there another company in the future days that's going to perform as well as Apple stock? I've got a great video for you guys. It's filled with technicals, filled with some interesting perspectives. Hit that like, let's get into it. All right, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that Apple stock has been leading this market. Over just the last couple months, it's run 55% from its recent bottom, hitting the incredible, mythic $3 trillion market cap. Just 5 years ago, Apple was under a $1 billion market cap, kind of around $750 billion. It has experienced a meteoric rise through a handful of very significant events, the biggest being the pandemic and the trillions of stimulus money that got injected into the US economy. Clearly, that contributed to giving Apple a massive pump higher. Let's play a game called Is Apple Stock Bigger Than Every Other Stock Company in the World? Yes. There's a great article that highlights Apple stock's size, Apple versus the world. The iPhone maker is bigger than almost any stock market in the world. Not just a stock, it's bigger than all the stock markets. In this article, they show a chart highlighting global market capitalization by country, which is very interesting if you've never looked at it before. The total US market cap is $40 trillion. And if you compare that to China, their total corporate stock value is actually only $2.5 trillion. So it really puts into perspective the size of the US economy compared to other global powers. It just shows you US's corporate dominance. US companies control the lion's share of global wealth, and not just by a little bit. US market cap is significantly greater than all other countries combined into one. And the jewel of that crown of corporate wealth is Apple stock at $3 trillion in value. Apple stock is actually greater than all 595 companies that make up the UK stock exchange, all 235 companies that make up France's stock exchange, and all 1,242 companies in India. And Apple is actually twice the size of all 255 companies in Germany. Investing in Apple stock over time has been the very picture of investing in success. I want to introduce you guys to this cool little website called compound.mywallstreet.com. You can see that if you invested $1,000 into Apple 37 years ago, it would now be worth $2.2 million. That is the type of success that all of us are looking for. With that type of growth, it doesn't make sense not to put $1,000 into Wall Street. But of course, the big dilemma is you have to pick the right company, and that's a really big if. If you had invested $10,000 in Apple stock just 10 years ago, it actually would be worth $150,000 today. Over that time frame, Apple has returned to its investors an annual rate of around 31%. You guys know already that's way better than the S&P 500. Even with how incredible that recent growth is, Apple's growth momentum is slowing down. It's undeniable. I want you guys to take a look at the monthly RSI chart. That gives you the biggest picture of the candlesticks and the momentum over the course of the last decade. And what it shows you is that we've suffered a decade of momentum loss. What that looks like is that the price is going higher and higher, but the line that measures buying momentum is going down lower and lower over time. So that begs the big question, is it still worth investing in Apple? Can I get rich investing in Apple? And if not Apple stock, then where can I invest $1,000 over time so that I can make $2.2 million? Those are great questions, and I'm actually going to take a shot at answering a couple of them. But before I do, if you guys need better trade tools, check out the offer from the moomoo investment app. They're giving away 16 free stocks, and they're still offering to 1x your initial deposit of $100. If you put in $100, they're going to give you $100. Plus, they're going to give you 5 chances at stock valued anywhere from $3 to $2,000. It's a stock lottery. It's only good for US and Australian residents, and I host a chat group on the app. We call it Stock Josh Fam. Hey, say hi, throw a heart if you're a member of the chat. Get your cash doubled, get your free stock, and come find us in the chat. Let's start with, is Apple stock worth owning? For me, the answer is yes. It's an obvious yes. Warren loves it. I love it. I see a foreseeable run for them to possibly reach $4 trillion in market cap. That does not seem unrealistic to me. They have incredible design and distribution, and in my view, they're the best run company in the world. They never seem to miss or take the wrong step. Their growth and focus on financial services and essentially the banking industry through their phones, as well as their augmented reality handsets, are the type of things that's going to get them to $4 trillion. These guys are a technology juggernaut. Barring any unforeseen bad news stories like the loss of the CEO or the United States government trying to break up their dominance over their global industry, I think that Apple stock is still going to continue to rise. But another question is Apple stock worth investing in today, right now, especially after the 55% run-up that we've seen this year? The answer for me may be different for you. To buy Apple stock today for me would be to be buying the top of the range or near the top price of the trend. So this is not a place of accumulation for me, but I am swing trading it. I've been in call options just as recently as this last Monday. I want to review some technicals with you guys, and I'm going to give you my targeted buy zone for the days ahead. And what I'm referring to as far as my targeted buy zone is where I'm going to add into my retirement portfolio, where I'm going to begin to DCA again. Let's take a look at the technicals because the technicals show the way. I identified that this was in a strong upward channel, and I said that we need to keep an eye on it. My target price was $195, and right before 4th of July, it hit $194.48. I also gave you guys local support at $189.90, and today it hit $189.20, and it pulled back up, gave a little bounce from there. We got to watch and see if it stays above that price. There is bearish divergence in the RSI forming, and that's showing that the bulls may be getting tired. They've been running for a long time. You can just look at this long-term view of the chart. It just shows you a non-stop trek, tight price action up higher. The bulls are beginning to huff and puff a little bit, and they're starting to slow down. So what that means is that the risk reward does not favor going long at these elevated prices. And I don't care how much Warren loves it, and I don't care how much heat I'm going to get. I'm not adding to my long-term retirement Apple at these prices. I'm just not going to do it. I'm trading Apple because, like Tesla, it's a stock on the move. And so let's consider where it might go. If Apple breaks above $195 in the days ahead, my target would be $206. Right now, it has to come back and break over $195, which served as resistance, and I told you guys that it would serve as resistance. If we close, though, below 189, and you saw that we tested it today, then the support beneath that would be 185 and then 180 respectively. That's where I'd be looking for another call entry or bounce. The historic support, according to my logic, is that at some point when Apple breaks this upward trend and begins to prove to us all that it's going to go down, which I'm not saying that Apple has done yet, I think that Apple's going to come back and backtest the previous all-time highs. Guys, that is what you can always expect. When you make a new high, what previously had been resistance now becomes support. And so it's the most logical place for Apple to come back to find support, if it's going to be support. And what that price would be, in my view, would be actually over a series of peaks, or between 178 and 74. That's the natural price point that I think it's going to return to, and that's where I'm going to begin to enter back into my long-term Apple investment accumulation phase. Guys, I cannot make it any more simple than that. I think that a lot of times people get bullish, they get bearish, they get overly bearish, overly bullish. In my view, Apple's had an incredible run-up, and a back test to its previous all-time high just makes a ton of sense, and that's where I'm going to go long. I also want you guys to see with your own eyes a historic support trend line that Apple might also pull back to. And depending on how high Apple goes, this could add confidence to the idea that the 170 range is going to be support. You can see that if it came along and down and hit that long-term upward support trend line, you could see that it would bounce around the $170 price. And there is the possibility, depending on how quickly it moved, that it could come down to the 160s. If it moves down slowly, it's more likely to find support in the 170s. If we saw a pull down that happened over a quicker amount of time, it could actually go into 160s. But I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with buying from the 170s to the 160s for a longer push up. So to be very clear, the big question of the day is, can I invest $1,000 in Apple right now, and will it eventually be worth $2.2 million? Drum roll. The answer is no, absolutely not. There's no way that's going to happen. You can expect a good return on Apple stock because these guys are a well-run company, but it's what's called a mature asset with decreasing price volatility. For Apple to do that again, in my view, it would have to reach a market cap of $15 trillion. And at that point, it would be like one of the only companies in the world. Everybody would be making Apple products. Everybody would be going to work at Apple. Everybody would be buying Apple. They'd have to get into other industries like food. So I don't think it's going to happen. It's not realistic at all. Hate to break it to you. If you guys think it's going to get there, let me know in the comments. I mean, let's talk about it, and I'll engage you guys there on that. So then the big question ought to be, where can we invest $1,000 to make millions? Well, obviously I don't know that answer either, but I'm spending a lot of time speculating. And the two areas that I constantly look at, and I wonder if you guys can guess them, AI and crypto. Those are the technological areas which are brand new, which are slowly emerging and have the biggest opportunity to change industry and drive new profits from new technology, new products that we're not even aware of right now. Like I said, I don't have the tickers to give you guys today, but it is the reason that I cover those two sectors continuously, because I, like you, I want to put my money in the fastest moving car, as Larry Jones likes to say. It could be NVIDIA. I want to point out to you guys, NVIDIA, NVDA, has run up quite a bit. But what's interesting to me is that right now its market cap at the start of this year was where Apple's market cap was in 2018 when they were around $750 billion before it blew up to a $4 trillion company. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Give me that one stock that you think is going to make the big bucks. Would you bet on Apple or NVIDIA right now? That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for all the likes again. Thanks for all the comments. Hit the subscribe if you guys want to get the next video. If you don't change the bell icon to all notifications, YouTube will not let you know when I post a video. Let's keep this conversation going in the comment section. Peace and blessings. See you there.